Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Hope you're doing well on this fine Tuesday. The sun is shining, yet the wind is howling in my part of town. It actually even flurried a little bit. I'm in the Northeast, and it even flurried a little bit today, but didn't last long. Didn't leave much of an impact, but it was pretty to see. Cleansing to the spiritual palate, I'm sure, and just the right timing as needed, as always. But winter is indeed upon us. Not officially, but by the temperature, absolutely. I'm afraid to go outside, honestly. All right, and winter is coming. That's what I just felt from what's my favorite movie? Game of Thrones. That's what I just felt when I turned this over. Yeah, so the Emperor card. Winter is coming. Interesting. Definitely change in the air. Game of Thrones. Damn, that was just so clear too as soon as it turned over. Well, we know the Emperor card is authority. It is leadership. It could be a person, it could be an establishment, it could be whatever, it could be a thing even that takes precedence or takes up space in an authoritative way, but certainly a powerful presence in some regard. Okay, so that's where we're starting. Let's see where we go. The Emperor. Winter is coming. That's too many, but Tower card. That was kind of weird how that came out, but I'll take it. Should I take that? Yeah. The Ten of Pentacles, something that's been sown for a harvest that has been well sown for. Now it seems like it may be combusting into fruition or magnifying in some way, shape, or form, and of a spiritual essence. So definitely in spirit and in truth here. Temperance is key. That's patience. That's also balance. And what's another word for with temperance? It's moderation. Oh, okay. Sun card. We love to see it. A message, an emotional message about a big gift, perhaps, with the Page of Cups. Why the page, though? That's interesting. What's this? See, I don't like this energy here. The Page of Cups. It's like someone is presenting themselves with presenting an emotional, affectionate expression or offer with some entitlement, or what I really feel is like ulterior motive toward an immeasurable exchange or immeasurable return. We're talking, first of all, 2 different suits, 3 different with the swords, but the offer itself is a cup for a pentacle. That's not reciprocal, definitely not with the page to the ace. And then we're talking, well, in the suits alone, but then, of course, from the page to the ace, within that difference of suits, it's imbalanced as well. So it's like with the Page of Cups, what's the expression really worth compared to an Ace of Pentacles? What can possibly be said that would hold that much value to warrant a return and such a great dividend? You know, it's something fishy here, literally fishy as in what's in that cup. And the Emperor is still on my mind. Yeah, heartbreak here. Yeah, somebody's anticipating some return of something, but I get the sense that it's not going to be what they thought. They're going to be heartbroken by what it really truly gets to be, or very disappointed, I would say, and perhaps made the ship coming in might be. I just heard friendship, but I don't get that in the highest vibration, in the sense of like, oh, friendship. You know, it's just like maybe there is an intention. Okay. So not even that though is what I just heard. Not even friendship. So that's why the Page of Cups is small. That's why, okay, the Page of Cups compared to the Ace of Pentacles, it's like someone is willing to they're wanting to offer some expression, like almost like the expression is for a purpose, to mend some type of bridge. It could be from an old friend. Remember, we're in the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde now. So it could be an old friend. It could even be an old relationship that returns, or whatever the affinity of connection may have been. Keyword have been. That could be coming back around, presenting itself in another form, making an offering. But like with the Page of Cups, it's like, if you're the Ace of Pentacles, or you possess the potential of the Ace of Pentacles, if not the actual Ace of Pentacles, someone coming to offer you a Page of Cups, a small apology, some menial term of endearment, or adoration, but adoration more in the sense of flattery, like almost mildly finessing you. You know, maybe even playing on the sympathy card to some degree, you know, with the Page of Cups almost coming back looking like, you know, they're innocent or harmless in some way, and how it's like a humble approach is what the Page of Cups is giving me. But behind that, though, remember, was actually the Knight of Swords, who's not humble at all. He's very entitled. He is overly ambitious in his pursuit, aggressive even, and going toward that pentacle. That's the true nature of the facade of the Page of Cups that's coming to present itself humbly. Now, the heartbreak is that they have an expectation to kind of play on the heartstrings, or that perhaps their offering or expression will be enough to invoke some new attachment to what used to be an old friendship or connection. But you know, and they're coming toward whomever the target is. I'm saying you, but just rock with me. They're coming toward you, just to speak loosely, with the intention of morphing that offer into whatever will bridge the gap to get the job done, which the ulterior motive is to get to that Ace of Pentacles, whether you possess it or whether they think you're a gateway to it, or the keeper of it, or it itself. You know what I mean? Like so they could approach with the sentiment of apologies and reconciliation and all that good stuff, and have the anticipation that it's going to merge, maybe even thinking that because enough time has passed where whether you may have been someone that's been alone or more isolated like me, where I've been very disconnected from friendships, more or less, definitely from a variety of friendships, is very selective over here as far as I'm concerned, and that there may be some impulse to want to reconnect, even given it's the holidays and it's been a while, you know what I mean? Like some time has passed, maybe you're a little bit softened to whatever the experience was that disconnected you in the first place, and that maybe, just maybe, it might be a precious time to slide on in to home base. But I feel like there's going to be a disappointment. This person is waiting for something that I don't feel like it's heartbreak in the sense that they're going to be broken to pieces, like, oh, you don't want to be my friend no more, or you don't want to get back together, or you don't want to, whatever, whatever the offering is. It's just that it's not going to lead to what the ulterior motive was. It really ain't really about you, to be honest. I'm sorry to say, but not sorry, because who cares, right? It's better to know than not know, but it's not really so much. So no matter what is said, what's expressed from that cup, yeah, like it's over, They're trying to resurrect, like I said, evoke an emotion, an attachment within you that may have existed at some point in time before. But yeah, like, especially if this is relationship vibes, unless Ace of Pentacles potential has no need for a Page of Cups offer or expression. It's like you at least got to come with a king, at least, or, at best, certainly another ace would be a better match. Like if you really do feel so much for the connection, for the relationship, for the friendship, the business agreement or potential, whatever the ideal connection may be, you would at least be intentional to match that frequency. But it's like it's given entitlement when you're coming to the table with the lowest possible. It's like a low ball offer, the lowest you can possibly get, thinking somebody's desperate in their situation to just take it or leave it, or take whatever you're offering, or either silly enough, naive enough, or taking someone's kindness for weakness enough to think that they'll just take whatever you're given, and still having an expectation to receive on a very imbalanced level. It's not given life to me. It's given opportunistic, and wanting to take advantage of someone that they may think, or that may even seem to be in a vulnerable state, such as if it is relational, right? You've been single for perhaps 8 years or 9 years. This is the 9 of Pentacles. You've been single for 9 years. Surely she might have an itch that she want to scratch by now. Like, no, not by you, not any old body, that's for sure. Like, you underestimating the standard of you in the Ace of Pentacles. Like, you could be alone you could be celibate or just single, for the last 8 years or 4 years or 2 years or whatever the case may be, and still not be in a desperate state, which the 9 of Pentacles is not. She's very content in her own little world, creating life as it satisfies her, even as she's open. That's an open body posture to connectivity, but certainly not willing to be monopolized or finessed or seduced with that Page of Cups, especially not by no page. I mean, even she, not being a queen or any nobility in this card, is not so easily finessed by a page. That in essence, the Death card is giving me doesn't really have much to offer. Yeah, it's like balanced, harmony, temperance. Someone that's been cultivating this garden that's very plush in its own right is really not too pressed to just be throwing it out on the first offer. and this could even be professionally as well. Like you've been working on something for a long time, and maybe all that you need is the startup capital. And here comes somebody that sees your potential, but sees that, they have the money that could add value to your startup. And instead of them offering what is fair, they offer you the least that they can possibly offer you, thinking that, oh, she gonna take it because she just want to get started, or you just want to get things off the ground. It's like, no, I've been cultivating this dream, this gift, this vision for a long time. And it's between spirit and I as to how it gets to manifest. So if you can't match the offer of spirit, this is Ace of Cups energy here with the Temperance card. If you can't match spirit, at least come close, then it ain't even nothing to talk about. It ain't nothing to talk about. And that's like two really derogatory cards. The Three of Swords that came up first, which is pain, heartbreak, disappointment, toxicity, trauma. And then the Death card, that means nothing good is coming from really ultimately just accepting an offer that's out of your integrity. Even if it's not necessarily one that means to be of malice or manipulative or poor form. It could just be that's the best that somebody has to offer, whether it be professionally, platonically, or intimately, but it's just not what you require. Like you looking for the Ace of Pentacles, not the Page of Cups. And if that's all that someone has available on hand or on demand, then it's just like, okay, thanks, but no thanks, just simply put. Now this is a little bit more like it in terms of that matchup between the for the Nine of Pentacles with the Nine of Cups, somebody that is satisfied in what they have acquired. Perhaps they know what it takes to gain stability in spirit and in truth, or to build a business, or to cultivate a dream into fruition. So many different arrays of what this energy could be or mean, but definitely it's coming up in a spiritual form. But even more, I'm skirting around it, but it definitely love vibes, very intimate projections here with all the cup energy to start and now here, because the Queen of Cups is definitely on the vibration of high value love. She's cultivated her own love within herself enough to be very much so aware of the value of it, what she's bringing to the table, what it means to have something that's reciprocal, and how it's impactful, what her love, her attention, her compassion, her spiritual essence, how it had, not just what, but how it adds value to whatever it connects with. And the Nine of Cups is like, it's like a little bit better in term, but it still feels a bit of a mismatch as well. Now that the Queen is out here, because the Nine of Pentacles is like, she's a single gal too, with her focus on single things, and the Nine of Cups is a single guy with his focus on single things, and they've ultimately cultivated a spirit of independence separately. And you would ideally think that would make them, potential partners in an upright sense, a greater potential for partnership there that would be equal and balanced and reciprocal. But we still got the Queen here though, but now the Queen is on the board. So it's still like, you still gotta come quicker than that, like come a little better than that type of thing. It's giving me that somebody's just timeline is off. It's like they can't quite catch up to match up, and it's because the intentions are not holistically pure. It's with that ulterior motive to appear to look apologetic and sincere and humble and innocent and unassuming or unalarming, or whatever the case may be, even loving, coming with a page of cups, like we could just be friends, but knowing in the back of their mind they really want to seduce you, but not because they want to seduce you because they just love you so much and got to have you in their life, but because they want with the energy that you possess. You know, it's always something behind the curtain, even when he might look like the Nine of Cups, someone that has well established himself, grounded himself emotionally and spiritually, that has a lot to offer, all those Nine of Cups, but it's still given that, ooh, as a wind is howling, you hear that? It's still given that, wow, that though it's like I'm getting the sense that those cups aren't even all his, you know? It's like, it's still, like I said, it's just still something funny here, you know? And then we got the Seven of Wands, which is a call for protection, you know, to stand your ground, to kind of protect your energetic field, stand firmly on something that you believe or hold to be true, of value. And I don't know, like what it's given me is that this is a protective measure. What did I just hear? It's like the aggression and the ambition to forge this connection. It's like he's almost running away from something else, and this is like a last-ditch effort to find some type of refuge or safety and security for himself. And see where it's lining up under, right? The three of Wands. Like he's been in expectation of something probably many times over that hasn't quite panned out the way that he anticipated it would. And now it's almost like a race to the finish to try to, like, you know, I don't know, like make up for lost energy, lost time with the Pentacles, a lost opportunity, lost love, lost resource. It's just like, it's giving me somebody lost a lot by stepping in a direction that didn't yield the fruit that they anticipated. Didn't the Seven of Pentacles come up? I feel like it did. Like they sold into something that wasn't plentiful. And now it's like, all right, how can I gather myself? And here it is. It's like the Nine of Pentacles would be a match for the Nine of Cups, but in that moment, he was more of a Page of Cups. So it's like going back to the drawing board, like, okay, well, let me boost myself up. Let me energize my force to be the Nine of Cups. But just as soon as he becomes the Nine of Cups, it's like now Nine of Pentacles is the Queen of Cups. So yeah, we in the same suit, you know, maybe kind of in the same book, but definitely not on the same page. You know, it's like it's two different energies going on here, you know. So I don't know. Let's see what else we got. It seems to me that somebody just needs to focus on, especially when we're talking about cups, they need to just focus on healing for their own intents and purposes, not for any external motivation or motive. That's the only way it's going to stick and matter. And then, yeah, that was the Emperor card. Keep forgetting about that. Somebody wants to take control, wants to dominate. That's what it is. They want to dominate. They want to be a dominating force, which is what the focus is. But it's like you don't get to be the emperor just wanting to be in charge, you know, just wanting to run shit. And then this came back out again. Yeah, you don't get to be the emperor for many reasons, because the emperor is a rare being. You know, it's like I don't even know what to say about that. So here we go. Here he goes again. Now he's the King of Pentacles, because he's trying to match himself up with the value of the ultimate ideal, which is really getting his hands on this unlimited resource of wealth through the Ace, which is ultimately you, whomever you are, you hold that key and that power. And he wants to possess it but this is the energy that he's truly in. The Two of Pentacles, because there's some material imbalance or instability. It seems like on all accounts, because even the Cups was a page. As far as the wands are concerned, he's at 3, which could be great expectations if it was motivated in the right direction, but we've already determined that it's not. It's impure expectations, or I would say inflated expectations. Then in terms the Cups, that hasn't gotten any greater so far than the 9, which we've already determined what that's about. And now with Pentacles, if we're talking about an Ace of Pentacles potential, with the 10 of Pentacles already leading the charge on the board, it's like, what are you bringing to the table, sir? You know, like really and truly. So this is someone that may be able to look the part of the King of Pentacles in expensive clothes or shoes, or, you know, got a nice car, but low key, it's like the car, he probably behind in payments with the Two of Pentacles. The shoes and the clothes, it's like, you know, to the average eye, maybe something to look at. But first of all, they could even be borrowed. Let's get into that. Or thrifted, or, you know, secondhand in some regard, which is no shade whatsoever. But I'm talking about the facade versus the reality, you know. Or this is someone that, because maybe that's the most that they have to their name at this point is a nice wardrobe, you know, to actually look the part of a high value man, when in actuality probably bills is overdue, car is fit to be repossessed in a minute. Does he even have a home? You know what I'm saying? Like, does he even have a home is the question at this point in time. Like, I don't know. Somebody that's this pressed to put on a show is even more pressed to conceal some truths and realities about themselves, especially when there's desperation at hand, you know? Yep, and here comes the Death card again. Exactly what I said. The page of, matter of fact, let's do this. The page of, the Seven of Swords, the Death card again, putting an end to that expectation. This is still out here. The Two of Pentacles. That's confirmation like a mug right here. You know, yes, he's absolutely playing the game, thinking that he's, you know, pulling the wool over people's eyes as to his the nature, maybe even to himself. You know, maybe he himself is a bit on the delusional side, thinking that if he could just keep his hopes high, you know, people that don't have manifestation, that, you know, they're more manipulative than they are masters in manifestation, as the Temperance card projects, think that they can just fantasize their way into an ideal, you know, like their imagination is bold enough that if they wake up every day and tell themselves that they're the man, all things are, you know, that's what it is. That Emperor card is like, I got everything under control. I'm the king of this castle. You know, everything bows down to me. I'm the creator of my, you know, somebody that in a positive sense that would affirm themselves with certain statements of truth and actuality. It holds a different charge, you know, even if that is not the so-called reality, right? It's a different charge by way of affirmation for manifestation. But this is someone that, because of their motivation, their intention, the value of what they truly even desire to offer. You know, this is not just someone that wants to manifest so that they can have it to offer. This is someone that just wants to look like they have it to offer so they can manifest your shit. Like what you have to offer. Look, yeah, 10 of Wands, like burden, heavily bound, laden, you know, not take care. Probably this is the debt that I was talking about, having way too much on their plate, trying to keep up with the Joneses and keep up with appearances than what they truly even need, let alone can afford to maintain. So it's like it's the origins of the energy that taint the affirmations for this character, because it's like he could wake up every day, all day, and tell himself he's the emperor, that he's the most powerful living human being on the planet. But the spirit knows the truth, and more importantly, the spirit is not going to align with, that's that temperance card with the balancing of the cups. It's not going to align with that energy, because it's like, why would, what's to be invested in at this point? Maybe that worked at a certain another point in time in what do you call it, in accordance with another type of spirit. But the supreme source of all, divine spirit, angelic forces, angels, assemblies, even divine ancestors are not going to pour value into someone that at the heart of the matter has no good intention with it. It's just like wasted energy, wasted facility, wasted resource. So it's like every attempt to advance in that old state of mind, which is why I said healing, this is someone that really just needs to focus on their own healing, because spirit would love to pour into someone that truly is content with who they are, what they've acquired, what they've accomplished honorably, honestly, and to advance that those accolades with a material harvest or reward, certainly, for sure. But an energy that's just looking to lie, steal, get over on the system, cheat other people, fraud their way to the top, literally fraud their way all the way to the top, only to fraud some more. This is not like fake it till you make it type of energy, where it's more or less innocent, that Page of Cups vibes, where it's like, I'm just trying to present myself as the part so certain doors were open for me. And then once I get in there, I can really prove myself. Once I get in the relationship, I can really love this person the way they deserve to be loved. I may not have much, but I know that I know how to love them, or I know that I have bright ideas to bring to this business collaboration. I know I have something that could advance this product, increase this bottom line, add value to a space that they're looking to infiltrate, in some way, shape, or form, or be a part of. This is exactly that. Someone that wants to infiltrate a space and desecrate it as soon as they get in there. Take everything they can, literally desecrate it, take everything they can and leave somebody hanging dry, i.e. the Queen of Cups. In whatever regard this gets to be, the Queen of Cups is just the energy of someone that is compassionate, kind, generous. So it's really a mismatch of energy, because this ain't like it's the Queen of Swords who can be a bit cutthroat, you know what I mean? Or the Queen of Wands, who may be a bit ambitious and down for the competition. This is somebody that will give you the shirt off of their back, and you trying to be a freaking Seven of Swords, bringing death and destruction to that energetic field and leaving them hanging upside down. It's like, no, spirit is never going to agree with that. Never. And that's the strength of the vitality of that queen. And look what tried to peek out, trying to become now the Queen of Cups. But it's like, even if you did, now she on a whole nother level again. It's like, yeah, but look, King of Cups, right? All the while you're rejecting the Ace of Cups in this Four of Cups card. So it's just like lies upon lies upon lies. It's quite sad and laughable at the same time, to be honest. Which is why I said this person gonna be waiting. That that picture. What is that a picture of? When they show you a skeleton, that meme. Like I'm gonna see if I could find one, because that's really funny. But I don't know what the caption is, but it's always, I don't know exactly what the premise of the caption is, but it's always like a picture of like a fully dressed skeleton. And then usually the caption is them waiting on something, like me waiting on blah, 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 blah. Well, that's him. Like, you see this death card, that's a skeleton. Like, I'm gonna find it too, and I'm gonna post it on the community tab. But it's like him waiting to finally one up, like to one up the system again, dare I say, because this is somebody that they're used to doing this, which is why they think they can do it again. They play these types of games, these opportunistic games. And like I said, in previous life cycles, that's been working for a lot of people. It's not just one person, that's been the game, to get over with doing as little as you possibly can and taking the absolute most. That's been the game of this world, quite honestly and unfortunately. Not accepting true love and true value, being the expression of it, and because you got to receive it first, right, before you can actually express it. It's like this commitment to fraud, in one way, shape, or form, whether it be fraud to satisfy self, that image of self that's more gratifying and palatable for social acceptance, or for some actual material gain, as in with the King of Pentacles, to really add value to your life on account of the demise of someone else's, or to the detriment of someone else. But people are so much stronger than that now, realizing the vitality of their own strength, knowing what they bring to the table. And even with the Queen of Cups, it's like the Queen of Cups ain't even what the Queen of Cups used to be, where you just thought you could finesse her and seduce her by her emotional attachments. It's like, this is the strength of that energy right here. Like, she's too grounded at this point, and affirmed in the value of her love, to just be throwing it away and pouring it out for any old body, and this is even the response to this intention, is him being rejected, which would only be a return to sender of what he's been doing in the first place, energetically and universally, rejecting that pure essence of love that comes from an Ace of Cups. Remember, I said at least come with an ace at this point in time. That's too many. Yeah, it's like, come on, you got to do that. You got to do better than that. You selling yourself short. And here's the Three of Cups, that the Four of Cups is an energy where he's looking at the three. And it's like, he rather really give his time and energy to the Three of Cups vitality, which is some, what do we call it? Like three-party situation, but more than three-party, because what it represents for me in this vibration is just is debauchery and, a lack of commitment, like not really having to be serious or really held in high regard, accountability for who he presents himself to be, or how that manifests, because this is like a lower vibe. Like 3 of these is worth 1 of the Queen, if that, you know what I mean, like if they lucky type of vibe. And it's like he rather really continue to dabble in these lower vibrational energies, because he can really present himself to be the man. Look, under the Seven of Swords, he could be the man to those vibrations that don't really require much, maybe even younger women, or greener opportunities, or people that maybe even that he doesn't really, that don't know him that well, or don't know themselves, I would say, that well, to really see the illusions that he would want to play, that would more so work in his favor. But the problem is that investment in those energies doesn't really yield the same return as it once did. He's too intentional about having that supreme return with the Ace of Pentacles. Remember, at least the 10 of Pentacles, depending on which one you see has the higher value, They both are pretty supreme, as a matter of fact. And that's what he has his mind set on. The big lick, it's not satisfying enough to, play with these little licks no more, literally. No shade, but all shade, And then here we go. And was that the Three of Swords? I mean, Three of Pentacles? Yeah. More three-party situation, more collaborative effort. This is just like somebody, it's like, can you do anything on your own, sir? Like, this is somebody that just always needs to be up in somebody's energy, or needs to be affirmed, or needs to have a collaboration, or just can't be alone even. It's like they have a hard time just energetically being with themselves, with their own thoughts, their own vibration, their own emotions. This is why they project out in the ways that they do, because there is a lack of contentment in their own sanctity and solitude. And that's what the call for healing truly is. That's a real dangerous place to be, especially in this world right now, because you can attach yourself to all the wrong things and be surrounded by hella people and literally no life whatsoever within all of it, amongst any of them. It's literally be surrounded by death, just because you don't want to be alone with yourself. You don't want to do the healing. You don't want to face facts of who you truly are. Be authentic, just be real about your circumstances in this present moment, what you're truly capable of. This is somebody that has always found a way to hustle the system to amplify his creative force in one way, shape, or form, literally in spirit or in truth. Somebody that steals other people's ideas, that siphons other people's energy to build up his energetic force when he's feeling down. When he might be depressed, is one that finds friends or evades depression and sadness by keeping himself surrounded by people and in celebration, really debauchery that definitely is consumed by dependencies such as drinking or other substances. It's just never a moment of peace and rest, as in the Temperance card, that raw essence of alchemy, where you allow yourself to be with your emotions, to be with who you are, your spiritual force, and in co-creation with the intangible source of all. You become better, you become greater, you take, the best and worst of all things and allow it to elevate you, to magnify your force. This is somebody that does it artificially. They don't have the patience to wait for it to happen organically. They find a way. And because it always works for them, even in the most immediate gratification, it has worked. I'll say that. It always has worked for them to find some source of artificial light in their lives, or to latch on to someone else's. It's like, why buy it when I can have yours? Why spend the money when I can have yours type of vibe. It's kind of the sense that I'm getting. It's like, why do the heavy lifting when it's just sitting here, for free type. I don't know how I'm trying to say it, but it's just someone that doesn't really see the value in getting it how they live for themselves, honestly. They get it how everyone else lives. It's like, and then there's judgment on that, right? Because it's like, you can't survive. First of all, it's judgment because it's not sustainable to live that way, to always have to be working in tandem with someone else, or off of someone else's energy, someone else's resources, someone else's vitality, someone else's reputation, someone else's good word, connections, like always on the hookup, in some regard, in every way, shape, and form. Eventually you got to get your own. Like, you have to have something up to offer unto your own self, before, number one, the well runs dry, when people eventually wake up and see that you're taking more than you're given, and before you realize that, you've kind of depleted your opportunities to take, or to manipulate or monopolize. And because you haven't cultivated a true value within yourself, it's like now you almost you're almost like forced with your back up against the wall to do nothing but what you've always done, because that's the only thing that is available to you. You know what I mean? That's readily available. It's so hard to really get into, and this doesn't even really matter, because judgment has been called, because like I said, this is not sustainable energy, and this planet now, this universe now, is about sustainable resources, sustainable force. If it's not authentic, if it's not organic, then it really is, there's a short shelf life on it at this point in time. It doesn't really, it doesn't yield good seed to be cultivated into any lasting it's like, again, I said before, like a GMO harvest, or something that is not altogether nurturing. It may yield fruit, but it's not something that has the highest nutritional value for you or for anyone else when you're getting it off of the backs of someone else. And yeah, you may build a business from what was stolen ultimately, or resources that were manipulated, or someone's energy that was siphoned. But the turnover of that creation is only, first of all, it's not going to last long anyway, but then whomever it serves or whatever it serves is in the essence of that seed. It's like watering your crops with bad water, you know what I mean, with tainted water, or no water at all for that matter, because there's not a whole lot of spirit, not a whole lot of cups here except for the 9, but we already established that they ain't even his cups. Remember, like I said, is that even his? Are the resources even yours? So it's like you're taking other people's energy to present it as your own, but that's not really going to be something that's going to yield a nourishing value to those that would want to be served by it, because it's tainted, it's corrupted, So number one, it's not going to yield a natural vitality, and then spirit is not going to amplify it, as in here with the judgment card. It's like, no, it's over, because it's not of the essence of source. We need a eternal seed to turn over now. We got too much GMO, what do we call it? And I keep saying GMO, but I don't even know if that's the right term, but just like inorganic crops that have sprouted in this realm. We got enough of that. Whereas I saw an ad the other day, and I didn't dig into it, so I'm not really turning it down as complete ridiculousness, but I saw something about a system that allows you to grow in a garden inside, but it looked very like electronic, like I don't know the nature of it truly, but there were like these little pods that she popped in, and then she all of a sudden had these tomatoes and, little baby tomatoes. And I'm like, yeah, that definitely solves a problem. Whereas some people may not have the outside ground to grow their own crop. And of course, we know the state of produce in this country, at least here at this time. But is that really the answer though? And how holistic is that? How organic is that truly, to be growing something in a plastic container through a pod? And I don't know, it just seemed kind of weird. Like I said, I didn't really trace trace it for any type of like research per se, but just off site, it just felt weird. Like, is this where we're going, where we're growing GMO crops inside of our homes now, just so we can put something in our mouths to eat at all? Now don't mind me being too harsh on inorganic, because it's not like I buy all organic fruits and vegetables, you know what I mean? And it's not like I eat extremely clean and healthy as I probably should. So I'm not coming down on anybody's diet per se, but I do the best that I can with what I have and the resources that I have. And more importantly, I'm not trying to feed my son absolute garbage, and I'm trying to eat, organic and prime cut meats, and it's like there's a balance here. I'm only doing for myself what I do for him, and I'm mindful enough to want to elevate our eating, both of our eating, for our spirit and truthful nourishment. This is not that energy. This is someone that wants to have the premium cut of meat, that wants to have organic vegetables, wants to have a exquisite meal, but all on somebody else's dime and dollar. They don't want to cook it themselves even. They don't want to buy the produce. They don't want to sow the seeds. They don't want to work for the income to buy the groceries. None of it. However they can cut corners to make sure that they have the life that they think they're privy to, that entitlement again, that they feel like the emperor should live, but without the devotion and the commitment that the emperor, and the responsibility as well that the emperor is committed to. The emperor has great responsibility, and so that judgment card is like, just time's up for it. If it's not organic, if it's not nourishing, it's not necessary. So it's like, it would behoove anyone operating in a certain vibration to really elevate their mindset and to get intentional. Like I said, you may not have all the best resources to live a pristine life, but at least to have your mind set on the best that you can do for yourself and for others, Secondarily, others, because this guy, he first got to just work on not trying to do the worst for others and to do better by himself, literally by himself. Okay, so let's see, a few more and then we out. Okay, let's get a couple. Yeah, see, no entitlement, looking back with disdain, and 10 of Swords, over. Mad because the jig is up, ultimately. Not mad because, that's it. Just mad because he can't continue this cycle of 7 of Swords, ultimately, to keep finessing people over and over. This is what do you call it? Sabotage and damn, why can't I hear the word right now? Betrayal. That's what it is. Like betrayal, like betraying energies that are unassuming over and over again. Like I said here before, this is him looking back at his heyday, like, damn, I used to have all the power in my hand. I could make these girls do whatever I wanted. Maybe even the guys, kind of bend to his will because he presented himself to be this like kingpin force. And maybe perhaps materially, like I said, he absolutely was, and maybe even is to some degree, like, what I'm saying, like the presentation of all of that. But that's the point of this judgment, the turnover of creation at this point, because even that doesn't really win you over anymore. That doesn't, these days, even people that don't have substance want something of substance. It's the weirdest thing, because it's like, even those that might not necessarily, might particularly be materialistic or hold a higher value for material things and expression and money and what all those glamoring appreciation, so to speak. Even those individuals are starting to still feel some entitlement to, or I should say an expectation for those that have those things to express some depth with them, if that makes sense. At least that's just how I see it, so people are just not willing to be finessed by the facade as easily as they used to be anymore. It's like, you because it's like, even this generation, anymore, money is really not even a thing to them. If you really get into their perspective of things, like, it is, but it isn't. They don't harbor the same poverty mindset, the restrictions more so in their inner being for like the attainment of wealth, that even my generation contends with. It's just like, oh, I could get money, one way or another, that I could get money. But it's like, even with them now, it's like you can get it, but can you keep it? And we've already established that this energy is not sustainable, which this somebody or some people are finding out the hard way, unfortunately, where appearances are not all that matter, and maybe even perhaps material things aren't even all that matter. A lot of these young people are far more advanced than we were at their ages, not to just get it how they live, but also make a living while they're getting it, like have a sustainable hustle or a job or and more entrepreneurial than anything, but have found a way to sustain their ambitions. I would say that's the credit that I would give them, that is inspired. Now, they may need a bit of guidance on how, to carry that vitality, to so that it doesn't overcome them, overpower them, and more so emotionally than anything. And I guess that's another story for another day. But the point is that in terms of materials, it's like nothing to them. They'll figure out how to get it one way or another, So the Six of Cups here is about nostalgia. Let's get one more, and then we got the High Priestess here, which is divine alignment. And look, the High Priestess is like, remember what I said earlier, this guy trying to come back on a nostalgia tip, and here's the finesser right front and center with the Knight of Cups, for sure. Still trying to elevate himself. This is the wounded warrior, right? This is the actual the knight. You know what I mean? But this is the true energy. This is the expression or the presentation. Now here he is, posted up, trying to pull on old heartstrings, perhaps past life experiences, but certainly, like I said before, the nostalgia of how a connection used to be, the pleasantries of it. But what was it back before I started shuffling, but the High Priestess? And then I see this peeking out in the back. She's well aligned energetically, just as the Strength card. She has the will to abstain. She also is well aligned to her supreme self and source, not to be glamored by any any energetic projections that are false, that are ultimately false, that are really illusionary. This is like somebody trying to bring up old memories and old, the nostalgia of a connection to kind of make you feel safe and secure, to maybe even put your guard down a little bit, feel the nostalgia and reminiscence of the past, but still with the open-heartedness to accept it's accepted in the present, almost to forget the false aspects of the experience, and almost like leading you to just fixate on the good times. That's the type of vibe that's here right now. And it's like, yeah, remember that time back in the day when we did this, or just trying to evoke a certain nostalgia in your presence that would soften your boundaries a bit, to be more or less more open to the bullshit that is leading you to where? Nothing but more limitation, perhaps addictions, maybe into where they fit. It's a projection to where they are in this present moment, almost trying to draw you into their misery to some degree. Because remember, this is not just somebody that just want to get that old thing back. They just want to get everything back that they lost, and all of your stuff too, and leave you to the wolves, like almost making you the sacrifice. Yeah, with the Hangman here, for sure, that's willing to sacrifice you in order for them to, is this the Page of Cups again? It sure the hell is. Wow. In order for them to regain some notoriety, some stability, some clout, some whatever it is that they're looking to, some gratification and some satisfaction is what they're looking to to find. And they're looking for it in all the wrong places with the presence of the devil here, because this is just someone that's overindulgent in every way, shape, and form, in all the ways that we've already talked about, but certainly that is not in a position of self-control to keep himself from doing harm to others to acquire these gratifications. Completely overindulging in the sensationalism of their carnal nature. Again, sex, money, alcohol, drugs, even people and places that are of no value. This is someone just completely misguided at this point, just on a dark path, perhaps even a rampage of some sorts, especially with that Knight of Swords, that is still, it's with attachments. That's what it is. So it's like they're not even fully they're not in full possession of their own vitality at this point. They're almost being consumed by their own the sensationalism that is taking precedence, like their need to gratify their senses, that nature of them that wants to be pleased most immediately in every way, shape, and form. So that's what's taken over by way of almost this, like a force of some sort, definitely, like I said, an attachment energetically, where something else, some other dark energy is taking residence in their being and almost guiding their actions, to the point where that's why everything that he tries is just a little bit off course, because that's just how the devil likes to play games with people, like a puppet on a string. Sometimes I see that as like Pinocchio, like a marionette, playing with you on the string, because it's fun to see how far you'll go and how far you'll advance the agenda of this dark force before you ultimately burn yourself out. And it really is of no consequence to it, because you either advance the agenda to a point of satisfaction, or the force itself will be satisfied in assuming your energy for consumption. You know what I mean? Like taking over your force on account of what you couldn't carry out. So this is like somebody that's made a real bad deal with their dark side, i.e. the devil, but we know it's not like devil with horns, but with their dark nature, they've given into it and like leaned into it in a way that is not forwarding. It's not vital. It's not the force that's, empowering productivity. It's leading them to do things that ultimately are leading to their own demise, and they may have hurt some people along the way, but ultimately they're still really just impacting themselves above all, because the spirit will protect those that have been vulnerable in life and death. But to persist in this vitality, in this life, in this realm, like I said, at this time, that's dangerous. And here is the King of Swords. Here he comes again. Honorable, when he's really just a fool. Just a fool that's still trying to finesse. Still presenting himself to be honorable, dignified, diplomatic, upright, honest, with integrity. Ain't no integrity in this. He's not even in alignment with himself at this point, because it's like his spirit is trying to lead him in one direction and his soul is going in a whole other. That's what this is giving me right here. And what's this? Damn, that's it right there. Because this was always the fixation, to be the man. Or he's working for someone that he feels avowed to, or indebted to in one way, shape, or form. And that devil energy is what comes up as that force. That's the expression of that force, where whomever he's feeling indebted to, or feeling like maybe that's the over ambition and the desperation, is that he owes somebody something. Like I said before, he's been well in over his head at this point in time, even materially, as I expressed, that he might have way more bills than what he can even manage at this time. He may have finessed way too many people that he to even keep in alignment at this time. He may have done too much. He may have told too many lies, too many stories. It's like everything is kind of crashing in here at this point here, and everybody is looking for some type of repayment or restitution, is what I hear, for his advances in one way, shape, or form, or maybe even his promises that he's made all around the world. And the motivation of this energy, it's just like, yeah, it's just like it's given spiritual debt is what it's given. Even if it's not material, it's spiritual debt here. It's like everybody's looking for something from him. Spirit is looking for his what do you call it, repentance. The devil, or whomever this authoritative figure in his life, is looking for his sacrifice one way or another. The people in his life are looking for redemption or restitution, maybe even restoration from what they've lost on account of their engagement with him. Bill collectors is looking for, their payments, like everybody is looking for something. And he would love to just skip off into the sunset and escape it all. But so that's why I said, like, his spirit is going one way, because this is where, like, the purest of his spirit would love to just have a fresh start, probably even a do-over from all this mess that he's created for himself. But it's like, no, you're gonna have to pay the piper. You got a lot of debt that you have to answer for, and all you are is a Knight of Cups. The Emperor is going to require far more than that. And if it's the Emperor and the devil energy, meaning someone that's not very understanding or graceful, or that really don't care about much except for what they owed, or what, a boss type of vibe, who he wanted to be. And maybe this is just who it was from the gate, like just lording over the reading, and that was the projection of the intention and motivation behind it all. I don't know, maybe perhaps, but I still get the sense that the over ambition is because he was still trying to either finesse this figure or be, consume the role of that figure without the responsibility. And now it's like, you was too big for your britches, boy. That's the Emperor. Now I'm gonna have to give you a spanking. Pause. But it's like life is giving him a spanking. It's just not one thing. It's like, it's wow, man. Let's see what's under here. Wow, yep. And here he is again. It's like he tried to be every single king on the board. Like he was trying so hard to be this emperor. So hard. So hard. Wow. We saw the King of Cups. The King of Swords is out here. The King of Pentacles. It's like he wanted to be, but he was always fragmented. Never the whole package, because he wasn't really willing to do the work. Not really willing to make the real sacrifice to be the emperor and the upright. To really take on, even a low vibrational emperor, still has had to make some sacrifices to obtain and maintain that position rightfully on their own, good, bad, or indifferent. But this is somebody that was always trying to hit a lick, always trying to cut a corner, thought that he was creative enough to, to ultimately get the jump on the competition, even thinking he had one up on the man himself in some regard, the system itself, like always feeling like he was able to outsmart, outcreate, outmaneuver the next man. And it never really afforded him the prestige and the honor that he was looking for, in spirit or in truth, actually in the accolades and the force of power, as he's still offering, it's like he's still subservient to this emperor in a knight's position, nothing but a foot soldier at the end of the day. And not even materially, as he did all this hustling, all this shaking and moving, to still not have acquired the sustainable value that would at least make it worth it. It's like, all right, well, if I can't be the man, at least I could be something like the man. You know what I mean? Like, I could have the money, I could have the appearance, the fame. Like I said, that fake it till he make it vibration, where he was faking it whole time. But if he would have been in the position to like get in there and actually play the part, not play the role, but play the part of the emperor, make some shit shake, do something different, Spirit might have magnified that intention and sustained his progress. But it was never that. It was never that. This is somebody that wanted the benefits and the position of the emperor, entitled to it, as a matter of fact, but that really didn't want to bring value to that position holistically. And so now he more or less has played himself out of position, is what it's come down to. He's on a fool's journey, having to take a leap in another direction, and if he can escape his debts or fulfill them, to some, maybe he could pull a rabbit out of a hat for that, make some magic to find his way out of this debt. Otherwise, that's going to be looming over his head and keeping him distant from a new beginning, a new start, a fresh start, until it's fulfilled, period. And really the thing that's standing in the way of him reaching that fulfillment is that he's still not finding the accountability and self responsibility to turn over the leaf that would ultimately allow his actions to be more productive. It's like he's still, even in this energy, like he's presenting himself as the King of Wands to the Emperor, right? Like, I don't know which one it is, really and truly. It's like either he's presenting himself humbly as the Knight of Cups to him, like with apologies, with more finesse, adoration, whatever the case may be, like meekly, humbly to the Emperor, to whomever he feels indebted to. But behind his back, he's still trying to take his spot, still got that wand in his hand, ready to strike at any minute. It's like not humble at all, as a matter of fact, still trying to find a way to make a move, to bust a move, and that, to me, like, that would be admirable in a high vibration of the King of Wands. But in this regard, if all of these guys, which I feel it is just one person wearing hella different masks, this is just him once again with an inflated ego of how powerful he truly is, instead of being righteous enough at this point in time to take responsibility for where he has undoubtedly fallen short on many accounts. So he's keeping himself from a fresh start at this point, still trying to run the same game, literally, with the Six of Cups. So, to each his own, like, so shall it be, I guess, But it says that the beginning is, there's potential for it, which is the part that's like really, laughable, because there's potential there for there to be a new start, for there to be a clean slate, but not until you reconcile with all the mess that was created. You're going to have to make good on that, period. So, good luck. Anyway, that's all I have for now. Receive this story as you will. I'm sure it doesn't pertain to you personally, not the most of those that I feel connect with my vibration. But you may know someone, or you may, have been connected to someone in this vibration, or there may be someone that wants to reconnect with you in this vibration. So just be alert and be aware. Stay protective of your energetic field unapologetically, and just keep doing what's been working for you, because one thing that's been clear is that the adverse of this lower vibrational energy has been continuously elevating, from the Queen of Cups to the Strength card, even to the High Priestess. There's been constant ascension going on, so that somebody's doing something right in this, in this storyline. But there's somebody that's been doing it all wrong, and it doesn't seem like they've quite learned the error of their ways just yet. So just be mindful that if they're still carrying this Seven of Swords energy, looking to hit their next lick, you could be the intended target. So if it don't feel right, turn up them Queen of Cups vibes. If it don't feel right, all the finessing, all the sweet nothings, all the words of affirmation and adoration, and even apologies. You can bring closure to an experience without restarting it all over again. You don't have to reignite any old flames for there to be closure brought to that fire. Okay, so yeah. Just be mindful, okay? And in the meantime, I wish you all the best with whatever you are so diligently focused on, by way and through your own vitality and in your energetic field. May there be peace, passion, protection, prosperity, and power, most certainly unto you. And until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.